an opportunity came up where our aunties could see how much she was going through with 3 very young children. So I am Nancy. I am nearly 34 years old. I have 2 children. I live in the UK. I would say my favourite part of Colombia was being with my family. Like, wherever my family was, I was happy being. There's an area in Colombia, it's like a holiday place, and there's loads of swimming pools everywhere. It's called Mesitas, and I used to love going there. We didn't get to go there very often because we didn't have much money, but yeah, when we did go, I did very much enjoy it.
What was your favourite part of that?
The swimming pools.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swimming pools were I was always a water baby. I just loved the swimming pool. Like, you don't see them in Colombia. You don't. It's really rare. And if you do, you're very lucky. So I would say that was why I loved being around there. So I was born and raised in Bogota, which is the capital city. At the time, obviously being a child up until the age of 8, I didn't really know capital city. I just sort of thought, this is where I live. Reflecting back and looking at it now from an adult perspective, it's horrendous. Bogota is not a place to be, in the sense of how congested, it's so congested. The amount of pollution, you breathe it, you see it. It's literally in all the trucks, everything is just blowing out smoke, black smoke. You can see it. It's right next to you. You can smell it. It's horrible. But also the crime around there is awful. If you sort of went there, you'd find it a bit of a weird one, because you'd sort of be seeing all this pollution, all this crime, all this graffiti everywhere. But then if you look further out, you see beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
I don't like Bogota. Although when I did go back, I'm going to say about 5-6 years ago, for the first time after a long time, I went to the north of Bogota, and that's literally like Reading. Yeah, it's weird. It's cute. It's nice. The housing situation is all in blocks, but it's the same pretty much anywhere in Bogota. But they're all sort of secured by security guards, and it's all barbed wired and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And really well looked after, and people just have the cutest little flats and stuff. So that area is okay. I don't mind that. But where I grew up, which is the south, I guess the community where we lived, as in where my family home was, everyone knew of my family, because our family is very big.
Yeah.
And our granddad, he was a police officer at one point, and he was just involved in many, many things, and everybody knew of him. So if we went anywhere at all, everyone sort of knew us, and they'd say hi, and by our names or our surnames or whatever. So everyone was very sort of friendly in that sense, but I always knew that I couldn't just go to the corner shop without being worried that I could get snatched or that something could happen, because there was so many homeless people everywhere. It just was not safe. So I'd say in the sense of people that we knew, lovely, friendly, you literally knock on their door and end up having a massive party on a Wednesday night. They just lovely. But yeah, anything other than that, it was very scary.
What was it that made you move to the UK?
So my mum was married to my biological father, and he spent their marriage just being a very jealous, difficult person. She couldn't even go for a job interview without being accused of having an affair. He was also physically abusive towards her. And I think she held out because they're, for your kids and all that. So she held out as long as she could. But I think an opportunity came up where our aunties could see how much she was going through with 3 very young children. I was 8, Natalie was 6, and Laura was 0. And yeah, I think they just worried, and they said, right, let's help you, let's get you out of there. And they all pitched in together. We applied for America, didn't get the visa, so then we applied to come here, and yeah, we managed to get it, which was amazing. So really it was to escape the hellhole our father was putting us through, basically. She, like, my mum would work, she was working, she was going to uni, and she was also working at the school that we went to, because it was owned by our family. And he would just gamble all our money away. Like, she'd save up, buy me a bike, he'd go and sell it so that he could go and gamble. He was just a bus driver that literally just didn't give a poo about anything but himself. So yeah, it got us away from that.
How did it feel arriving in the UK for the first time?
It was the most exciting. I would probably say, aside from having my children, it was the most exciting day ever, but also the most worrying, stressful, and like the uncertainty in my mum, who is someone that is such a certain person. Like, she's so sure of everything she does. Like, I could see she was unsure. Like, she didn't know what was happening, to the point that actually the day we arrived, we got pulled in for questioning in the immigration, and she's got this tiny little baby. She's trying to keep her quiet. We're absolutely shattered because we'd never flown or anything, so obviously we were on a 9-hour flight, landed, we're all tired, end up being pulled into this room after probably about 2 hours of questioning. My mum just literally slapped her hand on the table and she said, I'm done. You want to send me back home? Send me back home. I am done. I'm done. And yeah, she basically got the stamp and they said, you can go. And yeah, and we literally were like, oh God. But yeah, arriving here everything was so clean, so nice. Like, there was no pollution compared to like, the air was just so much fresher. Everything just felt so different.
What was it like transitioning to a British school compared to a Colombian school?
Horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Like I said, in Colombia, when I grew up, I used to go to the school that our family owned, and my mum was the deputy head. So I was the daughter of the deputy head, the niece of the head teacher, and our family owned the school. So guess what? We're pretty bloody cool, right? Everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone wants to chill with you, and I was a princess. Like, if you sort of look back at my life in Colombia, you would think that out of us 3 sisters, I was the genuine princess. Like, I walked around like I had a crown on my head. So I literally spent 8 years of my life with obviously both my parents being together, being a princess, going to a school that you're worshipped and never even knew what bullying was.
Yeah.
Come to England, chucked straight into a school without speaking a word in English. I think I'd just about learned how to say hello. Just left to it, and I've literally come to this school. The first teacher I had, she was so lovely. Like, she did try, but she was clueless. Like, she didn't really know how to help. But then she suddenly went off sick. So they got a temporary teacher in, and the teacher wasn't informed that actually I didn't speak English. So she was just watching me in class and made a assumption that I was disabled. So she rang my mum. Well, she rang my mum, but couldn't speak to my mum because my mum didn't speak English either. So she spoke to my uncle, Keith, who basically said, you lot are a bunch of this, that and the other. This child is not disabled. She hasn't got learning difficulties. She's just doesn't understand the language. She needs support. So I think the teacher felt so bad about it. She sourced a Spanish teacher, and I spent 3 months every day with this teacher, the whole day. And in 3 months, I learnt it fluently. Wow. I learnt the whole language pretty much. fluently. I had an accent, a very funny accent, but yeah, I knew how to speak English. But during obviously transitioning into all of that and having to go out at lunchtime and at break time, I was bullied, I was picked on, and I was lost. I didn't have a friend I could literally be like, you're my best friend, like let's go chill together, because I couldn't even, like, even if someone wanted to be my friend, like they wouldn't know how to be my friend because I didn't speak a word in English. We had neighbours that were two boys, and actually they were like the popular bullies almost, and they never bullied me. My auntie spoke to them and she said to them, like, can you protect her because she's having a really hard time? And they stood by me for a long time. And my uncle taught me to also, if anyone wants to push me again or try and hit me or anything, grab them by the neck and say, leave me alone, or something. And I did remember, I did do it to someone, and I was eventually left alone, but it did scar me, and it did have a massive impact on how that has moulded me into who I am today, because I became very angry from it and couldn't manage my emotions at all.
Yeah, what was the biggest shock to you when joining the school?
The biggest shock was the language, for sure. 100% the shock, because I think you kind of don't, as a child, you just sort of go with it. Like you kind of just go, oh, well, my mum's putting me there, so it's safe and it's all good and I'll be fine. But then when you actually like are in that situation as a very young child, trying to understand that everyone's talking to you and you're like, you know, and they're expecting you to understand. I mean, the teacher thought I was had learning difficulties because I was staring round in class, staring at the board, staring round, waiting for someone to put their head down, and then I'd put my head down and pretend to write. You know, like things like that. It was just, not very nice.
What parts of Colombian culture feel especially meaningful to you?
The people, the food.
Yeah.
The food is very, very high up in the rankings of what Colombia means to me. But the people and the culture as well. Where my parents now live, it's just everything's beautiful. Everything's mountains and flowers and animals, and it's just nice. It's so lovely, and I love being there. The weather as well. Oh, love the weather. That's the other thing about Bogota. You don't get nice weather. It rains all year round. Horrible.
Looking back, what does that transition from Colombia to the UK mean to you now?
Mixed emotions. I think I was always really happy that it happened, and always felt like it was the best thing that could ever have happened to me, and all of that. But I do now, being an adult and going through like quite a lot in my life and actually doing a bit of therapy, I found I have started to understand that actually the child I was in Colombia isn't the child that came here. And that child got lost somewhere along the lines. And as soon as this child came along, the English child came along, I began to hate myself completely. So now knowing that and seeing that for what it is, I'm grateful, forever grateful, because I think the opportunities I've had in this country are significant compared to what I would have had in Colombia. But I do always wonder now, like, who would I have been? Like, would I have been a less angry person? Would I have been like a better person? Would I have moulded into like a better parent? Like, I'd probably say I'm very mixed. Home's always Colombia. That is my home. That is my just my everything. Like, I love my country so much, and actually my children as well, they've grown up and they've grown to love Colombia so much,
Yeah.
even though they hardly really know it. They've been a few times, but I think where I've been so, like, I still listen to Colombian music, it's drilled into their heads. Like, I speak Spanish to my parents, my mum, and we just talk about Colombia, you know, like I do try and share stories about Colombia and my life and stuff with them. My son Alfie, he's constantly spends most days telling me that he's more Colombian than he is English, because he's obsessed. Like he loves football. They said to I think we asked him the other day, if you got to the World Cup and you were one of the main players, what country would you play for? And he didn't even think about it. He just said Colombia. Yeah, my kids, my life. Everyone needs to understand that Colombia is my life. Love it.